Berra. Hi, Ryan Rucco with you as we will head out to Montclair, New Jersey to the Church of the Immaculate Conception for the services of Yogi Berra's funeral.
Joe Torre. Thanks, Dale. Good morning. This doesn't mean anything, trust me. I'm so proud to have been asked to come up and say a few words. Yogi was always a special friend, along with Carmen, of both Allie and myself. Shared many a dinner with them. And, you know, when I knew I was going to do this, you start looking up stuff. And yeah, won 10 World Series, 3 MVPs, all the stats, most World Series rings, you know, managed both the Mets and the Yankees to the World Series. But he was so much more than that. No matter what you read, it just wasn't enough to describe what Lawrence Peter Berra was all about. Dale talked about Joe Garagiola. I was talking to Joe Jr., who's here representing his dad, and he said that his dad used to refer to Yogi as his 3 a.m. buddy. And I said, what does that mean? He says, well, we could not talk for 6 months, and I could pick up the phone at 3 in the morning and say, I need to see you, and he'd be right over there. Yogi was a unique human being. You didn't have to be a baseball fan to know who Yogi was, to know what he represented. Did he have great ability? Not necessarily, but he was a great player. He was a great player, respected by his teammates. There's always a story. I was talking to Bobby Richardson earlier today. It was just Yogi-isms. You know, we laugh at him a lot. You hear his name, it puts a smile on your face. And, you know, he was a good luck charm for us. I know he was out at the ballpark along with Don Larson in 1999, actually on my birthday, July 18th, my 59th birthday. It was celebrating the perfect game. So what happens? David Cohn pitches a perfect game. Yogi. 2001, tragic 9/11. We lose the first 2 games to Oakland, and we're at home and then traveling to Oakland where they haven't lost in about a month. And I was trying to figure out what to throw in my bag to take west and what I was going to say to my team. And I remember, because we all wore different hats, NYPD, Fire Department, Port Authority. Well, I had It Ain't Over Till It's Over from Yogi's Museum. And it had patches, the Port Authority on one side and Police Department on the other. And I remember having the meeting and talking about winning 1 game. Well, that was the day that Jeter had that little flip play that we won 1-0 and went on to get to the World Series that year. But if you don't mind, I'd like to share a couple of minutes when Yogi came back into the fold with the Yankees in '99, thanks to Susan Waldman. He used to come to spring training, and he couldn't wait to get to spring training. He made every single trip with us. Normally, guys of Yogi's ilk can beg off those long trips, you know, maybe go to, Fort Myers. That's a little bit too long to travel. Well, we used to drive. We'd follow the bus, and it was Zimmer, who Yogi used to call Shorty. Mel Stottlemyre, Ron Guidry when he came on board. And he was remarkable to sit next to at those ball games because he stayed for all 9 innings and he would pick things up. Georgie would be catching. And he'd say, you know, just look at this bit, this, that, and the other thing. And he'd always pick some little thing of analyzing this game. He was so good. He was so good. And he was so honest. And he was so real. And he was so human. When we travel on these trips, especially the long trips, you know, we'd be in uniform and we'd be going. And then Yogi, as, you know, at that time, he was the age I am now, and I can tell you, you don't pass a bathroom very often. And he had to go to the bathroom. So we had to find a place to stop. And, you know, it was a 7-Eleven or a quick shop, and you pull up, and Yogi gets out of the car. You have to see this to appreciate it. Number 8, walking into the 7-Eleven to go to the bathroom. And people saying, no. No. It was absolutely priceless. And Yogi, just very unassuming, going up and say, you know, where's your bathroom? You know, then come out, he was ready to go. It was so special. They get to the ballpark in the morning. I thought I got there early, about 6:45, and I walk in. He says, where you been? Where you been? What's for breakfast? I said, oh, I'm going to work out first. He said, I already did that. Priceless. I tried to arrange, it was either dinner or a golf game, I don't remember, with him. And I picked a day. I said, I'm available. You want to do it this day? And he said, I can't. He said, I've got to go do a commercial. Oh, okay. I said, what's the commercial for? He says, Amtrak. It was Aflac. Okay. I think Amtrak probably sent him a check, too. I'm not sure. But he was such a hero to all of us, aside from being, you know, a Purple Heart winner. You know, he just gave of himself in every single thing he did. He absolutely was so madly in love with Carmen, married 65 years. He adored his children and grandchildren. He used to brag about Thanksgiving Day when he'd make the meatballs. He'd make the meatballs, and then Carmen outside would be pouring the champagne for the adults, and he'd have a horse and buggy out there for the grandkids. He was so real. He was so real. He was so loved. Friends of mine contacted me when Yogi passed to thank me for introducing them to him, for being in the same room with him. He affected so many people in such a positive way. The American treasure leaves behind a legacy of integrity, kindness, and respect for all. Today, we celebrate his amazing impact on others. We celebrate his uncanny ability to make people smile, even those who really don't care for baseball. We also celebrate that he and Carmen are together again. And today we celebrate the fact that Yogi Berra personified the American dream. Yogi, you were a champion in every single one of those 90 years. And we are grateful. God bless you and your wonderful family, my friend.